Catherine Howard, fifth wife to Henry VIII, is recorded as saying that a woman might meddle with a man and yet conceive no child, unless she would herself. This statement makes you wonder about the types of methods a woman may have used in Tudor society as contraception or birth control. Looking into Catherine's statement, she obviously found something that worked for her, or at least something she felt and believed would work. Today there are a wide range of contraceptive and birth control methods for both a man and a woman, and over the years science has led the way, whereas 500 years ago the knowledge would have differed, and it's interesting to delve into the past. Fear of unwanted pregnancy was not limited to just one class of woman or one specific time. As stated, Catherine Howard and her words remind us that a man was expected to have all the experience before marriage, but a woman must keep her virtue. The Catholic Church saw women as more lustful than a man, and men were able to fornicate and bear no consequence. The strictest standards of sexual behaviour were imposed on a woman, and they were enforced by all the legal, moral and religious pressures that society had to offer. A woman became the sexual property of a man, and they were only expected to do their duty and provide their husbands with an heir. So methods of contraception became a secret shared by women via word of mouth. Pregnancy carried all sorts of risks, and a woman's virtue and her value was linked to her chastity. You see, as long as people have been having sex, there have been methods of contraception. Official medicine stayed away from contraception for a long time, but folk medicine had found ways for as long as history can tell. Interestingly, in Tudor England, it was believed that sexual intercourse only had one purpose, and that was to procreate. So contraception or birth control was illegal, and it was even compared to infanticide, where an infant child was killed before the age of 12 months of age. Although in that regard times have not really changed, as the Catholic Church still believes that only natural methods of contraception are allowed, and that the standard contraception and birth control of today is strictly evil, all because it goes against the natural law. Sadly, both today, in the eyes of the Catholic Church, and 500 years ago, the only way to avoid pregnancy 100% was to abstain, because the options were just not there. But that being said, even today with the modern contraceptions, that's true, because no form of contraception is 100% effective. Now, because in the 16th century contraception and abortions were illegal, it just wasn't spoken about, making it very difficult to find accounts and historical sources. But we can find evidence of methods used, and these include the following. The first form of contraception is one that goes back thousands of years, and it is age-old herbal remedies. These are also known as natural contraceptives or abortants, and they work to include things like oil of rue, oil of mint, honeysuckle juice and oil of savin. A woman would just ingest these and hope for the best, be it preventative or to cause an abortion. The second recorded method was charms and amulets. This old wives' tale involved the wearer wearing a charm or an amulet made out of animal parts. For example, it was believed that by wearing weasel testicles or an amulet filled with herbs, that the wearer would be protected from conceiving. Another method was coitus interruptus. This today is known as the withdrawal method, and it's where the man withdraws before ejaculation, and it involved a lot of self-control. The fourth method used is another used today, and it was known as the rhythm method. It involved a woman's knowledge of her body and her menstrual cycle, and it relied on a woman abstaining when she was most fertile, normally in the middle of the month, or the middle of her cycle. Today there are products on the market to help a woman confirm when she is most fertile and when ovulation is occurring. In the past, women really had to pay attention to their body, and it was very hit and miss. Now, there are some legends or myths that state that breastfeeding and lactation is a form of birth control. Now, it is said to reduce fertility, but as many women have found out, it doesn't completely stop a woman's fertility, and many women have found themselves caught out with this belief. The final method used was vaginal inserts, and records of this go all the way back to ancient Egypt. Vaginal inserts, or pessaries, made out of acidic substances to kill sperm, and Tudor women were recorded as making inserts soaked in vinegar or bundles of herbs, which aimed at killing sperm, or making their body less hospitable. Women also used homemade barrier methods such as beeswax, wooden blocks and stones. Now, interestingly, there are even reports in the 17th century of animal intestines being used as condoms, but there are no records of Tudor men using these in the 16th century. The condom itself is, however, an ancient contraption that slowly made its way into Europe in the 15th and 16th centuries to help fight the spread of syphilis. Now, as I've stated, there are minimal records of these being used in practice, and as such women would have to rely solely on the word of mouth to learn the techniques to aid in birth control and contraception. It was never spoken about in public. Contraception was illegal. If a woman was caught using herbs or amulets, then they could have been accused of witchcraft, and if someone was caught using contraceptives, or if they were caught trying to cause a miscarriage or an abortion, then they would have been arrested and even potentially executed. Sadly, the majority of women who found themselves executed for witchcraft were just women who had knowledge of herbs and nature and aided a woman who needed help with either contraceptives or abortions, and for sharing their knowledge. Thank you for watching, and as support, please subscribe to Her Remarkable History. Thank you.